Hello, esteemed viewer. Welcome to the program Talks of on Living TV. My name is Margaret Chooks. Of course, you know this is a program we used to bring to you top personalities across the country to bear their views on what they've been doing, what they have done, and what they will do for you as Nigerians. Today, we have the honor of hosting one of the top senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe. Senator, please get our viewers.
Thank you. Yes, I'm glad to be here.
All right, the senator is glad to be in our program, of course, to tell you what he has been doing, what you should expect of him come 2019 and beyond. Senator, you've been in the Senate House for 3 times. I would like to know what prompts your intention to continue representing the people of Abia South Senatorial District.
Well, it's not my intention to continue. It is the intention of the constituents of Abia South that I continue. What normally happens in politics is that you present yourself. When you present yourself through your party, the party organizes a primary and the party members will decide whether you have been representing them well, whether you're fit to continue to represent them, and whether the party should make you their candidate. So when that happens, then you are the choice of the people of your senatorial district. So it's not my personal choice. If it wasn't the choice of the people, they probably would have said that you shouldn't continue in the primaries. The party primaries that were conducted for the PDP Abia South primaries was probably the best primaries that were ever conducted in 2018 in the primaries all over the country. There were 5 contestants. It was done openly, it was recorded, and it was transparent. Everybody came and made a choice, and it was supervised by no less a person than the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, whom, as you know, has a record of credibility that nobody can question in Nigeria. So for him to supervise the process, and the process produced me, that means that I was a product of an opinion of the people of Abia South that I should continue to represent them. Secondly, there is this thing that is made out of, when you finish a time, you ought to go let another person take. That does not happen in the legislative house. The law, as it is in Nigeria today, is that you can stay as long as you can, as long as your people vote you in the legislature. But in the executive, according to the law, you have a maximum term, a maximum period of 2 terms. And so we have had people go to the executive, spend 2 terms, transit from the executive to the legislature, and have been in the legislature all this while. So they are still in office, and so the question of being there doesn't really arise. Thirdly, legislature has one unique thing that happens to the constituents of that person, and that is that the more you are in the legislature, the better you can serve your people. So you will find that as you're progressing and as you're coming back, first you have the knowledge which is increasing. Secondly, you're also a repository of the all the things that has always happened within the legislature, and you've become a guru, and you find that your constituents enjoy the benefits of your being there far more than a newbie who will just be looking, will not even know where the meeting halls are. There's a lot of quid pro quo that goes along in the legislature. The quid pro quo comes about because there are in the Senate 109 senatorial districts, 3 per state plus 1 for the Federal Capital Territory. In the House of Representatives, there are 360 constituencies for the House of Representatives. So each of them appears on the floor of the National Assembly seeking for something for their constituency. And therefore, there's a whole lot of horse trading that goes on. And it's only those who understand the system that can assist their constituency in getting benefits to that constituency, because you're sent by your constituency to bring the benefits to them.
All right, sir. The primary duty of a parliamentarian is law making. I'd like to know the laws you've either enacted, or the bills you've enacted or sponsored while you've been in the House, and then the impact they've made in Nigeria generally.
Well, let us put it this way. Basically, there are 2 things that a legislator does. First, of course, is lawmaking. Second is representation. Most people who do not understand will think that basically making the law, and then they will ask the person, which laws have you made? No. Actually, the most critical part is the representation. And what the representation does is that if there's any law that will be of inimical interest to your constituents, that's a law that does not serve your constituents right, and you're there, what you do is to ensure that that particular aspect of the law does not come in. That particular aspect, even in terms of interpretation, does not also come in. And when you do that, and when you stay on the floor and you now make those interventions on behalf of your constituents, you are serving your constituents. Now, it's easy to say, oh, how many laws? Well, I have a document here which I will leave with you.
Okay.
This document is an encompassing document that talks about the laws, the motions, and every other thing, and of course the direct interventions in terms of things that are in the budget that were implemented for the Abia South Senatorial District. And I will urge you to take time to go through it, because I cannot, in the short space of this interview, go through it. But I can tell you just 2 things. 1, in terms of law, and 2, in terms of intervention, that you can use to know how people work in the National Assembly for the interests of their constituents. The first one is with regard to the Made in Aba products that we initiated. We initiated the Made in Aba intervention in 2013, 6 years ago. And our interest was to ensure that our people who are ingenious, who are entrepreneurs, who produce things for Nigerians in terms of the shoes, bags, and leather products, and fabrication and everything, that they are showcased to Nigeria. And it now happened that Nigeria has a procurement act which does not recognize the locally manufactured items. And I now propose the bill which was passed and which has been assented to by the president to make it mandatory for federal procurement agencies. That amendment is amendment on section 15, I think, of that act, to say that before you can procure any item, you must first ascertain that those items are not produced in Nigeria. If those items are produced in Nigeria, then the first port of call is to ensure that they are procured within the country. And if there is any portion that you have to give to anyone that is procured, that is produced outside the country, you restrict it to only 30%. That means 70% must be Nigerian made, and 30% could now come from anywhere else. That was a reversal of what used for Nigeria.
Okay, now it's improved to 70%.
It's now improved to 70%. It's in that law. That is how you get the question of what you do in terms of bills. In terms of intervention, the federal government, through the Attorney General, woke up and went to court and got a court order stating that the indigenous people of Biafra is a terrorist group. And we protested and we said that they did not follow the processes that lead to assigning such a tag and that proscription to a group, that ordinarily what they are doing is protesting their rights, which is guaranteed under the same constitution and guaranteed by the United Nations Convention on Human Rights. And we now intervened on the floor by bringing it up as a motion and condemning it as said that the federal government should go ahead and reverse themselves. And also, we also did another intervention at the point at which some people known as herdsmen were going around Nigeria, killing people, burning farms, invading places within Nigeria and driving people away. And the same government refused to proscribe them, tag them as a terrorist organization, and generally continue to treat them in a very soft manner. And we said that in terms of what you should do to a citizen, you must be even-handed. No two citizens should be given differential treatment. That is intervention, and it is that intervention that also led to the government trying to incarcerate me in some way. So those are the type of interventions that you do when you are in the National Assembly. You put the interest of your constituents first. My constituency is Abia South, and beyond Abia South, the Southeast, because I am also the chairman of the Senate caucus of the Southeast.
Okay, sir, you've really tried in elaborating on this, okay, but would like to know, like you're talking about representation, of course, it also involves attraction of projects to your constituency. What projects within this time you've been in the Senate have you brought down to the Abia South Senatorial District?
That is why I came and I'm giving you this. No, if I say, okay, what do we do? Let's just say, take one. Power stations and power projects. Okay?
Okay.
Now,
Sorry,
if you are...
Not to cut you short,
Yes.
viewers would want to know where these things are located, where they can be found. You could just afford us the opportunity to do this, because these are the most important thing they want to know.
Okay, so I can take it. We have all of them. From 2009, okay, we have communities that have benefited from transformers and cables. So I'll simply read out the communities.
There's no problem. That's
so
cool.
that you can see. You know, Bingwa, we sent transformers to Umuawu, Akanu Umorie, Ibeme, Umelendo, Umokoria Efula. We sent to Cool Park in Aba, Mboko Obete, Mboko Itungwa, Ososo Amukwa, Mboko Oriefula, Osa Ukwu, Abala Nkamiri, Isia Mangwa, Ike Mboko, Isiala Ahiaba, Isiala Ovom, Isiala Alitu, Obrete Isiala, Akareka, Abala here. These ones are all in Obingwa.
There's a total of 20 communities in Obingwa.
Mboko Amato, Akanu Umorie, Ohuru. That is, if you want talking about solar street lights, we put in Ohuru, we put in Mboko Amato, we put in Akanu Umorie. Transformers in Ugunabo, we gave to Oweraba, Ngwoma. Ihe Junction in Ihe, Akanungwa Autonomous Community, Ukebe Autonomous Community, Amokbu Autonomous Community, Obaja. In Aba North, Eziama Community got transformed. Umuoba Road, Ebemma Ukebu, Ironwu Bayudi, 7 Up by Glass Industry. St. Philip's, we gave to Ariaria Market, Urata and Osusu, and Aba Forks Road. Agowa Environs, Emelogu, and Ado Street Landlords Association. In Aba South, we brought transformers to Aja Road, Hospital Road by Ube, Asopu Aja Community, 222 Clifford Road. You know 222 Clifford
yes,
Road? That is the church, Assembly of God Church. We gave to Cemetery by Anyanwu, St. Anthony's Hospital, Omuma Road, Umuogele Mbato, Ohanko by Onyembi, Street Landlords Association, Ago and Ude Street, Apostolic and Evulobi Landlords Association. In Okwa East, we gave to Obako, we gave to Ohanko, Ohambele, Azumini, Akreka, Ohogwe, Amakam, Uju. These are all transformers that were distributed to various communities. We're talking 60 something
transformers.
And this was in 2009.
Okay.
Because between that time and now, we have also done far more.
Okay.
That when we move beyond that, because we have also pictorial representation, and
the pictures are in this.
They're all the pictorial representation, so that you cannot doubt it. But the communities are there, like I have said, and you can talk about them. Now, we also, for the street lights that we put in the rural electrification for 2017, so that we can distance. We put everything. So what we have put in the budget, what we have achieved, and every other thing that we have done is contained in this documentation.
All right, sir.
I can leave it for you so that you can go and verify. Because what happens in journalism is that people will wake up, come and make a claim. And the claim, of course, you cannot justify the claim. But I'm saying that you can go with this document to any of these communities, to any of the claims that are made here, and ask them, are these true? Did you receive this? If you didn't, let us know. We gave, for example, we built a fully equipped hospital.
Where?
In Ibeme, in Obingwa. The hospital is there. We handed it over to the State Ministry of Health and told them that they should go there. And the building is here, as you can see, and the drugs and the equipment are all there. You can go and verify. We distributed drugs to the 6 local governments in Abia South. They were collected by the health departments of each of the local governments. They're there. This is just a, what do you call it, microcosm of all the interventions that we did.
Okay, so
what we want. I'm sorry.
Okay, I wanted to go to education. We're going to take it step by step. So I'm going to come to that because I know you've.
Well, if you go to education, I can find out where education is. It's all water-based. That I can find out where education is. The reason why I'm using this is so that nobody will wake up and say, "Who knows what happened?" You understand?
Yeah, there's no problem, sir. But before you go to that education, I'd like to know, project-wise, the expectation of the people if you are re-elected come February 16. Project-wise.
I have said that the more you stay in the National Assembly, the more you can understand what goes on and how you can be able to do positive interventions for your community. Okay. The way you can do trade-offs that will benefit people, your community. And these are the things that we do. So I think you're looking for education.
Yeah,
I will find the area where education is, and we can take that.
Okay.
But there's water here. There's every other thing.
You can go on and give us the projects, water projects, electricity projects, whatever project executed during your stay in the house. We'd like to know so that the viewers will also have a knowledge of what you've done.
Now,
so
in terms of water, we did very many water projects. We did a water project in Ntozo. We did one in Owahia. That is for solar boreholes in Obingwa. Solar borehole. We did in Okwawes, in Umwezeke. In Obingwa, in Ogunabo, it was in Umodo.
Okay.
Umugumodo. In Ukwa East, it was in Azumini, and it was in Uhuru. We did both. In Abanot, we did at Olongwa Cultural Hall. And then we also did at Obo Town Hall. If you go to Obo Town Hall, you will see the water project there. It was done for us. Okay. In Aba South, we did at Tenant Road. We did at where they call I think that place is now a park by at Park Road.
Park Road.
That
I remember.
Park there. We have several, and we did at Onyembi. In Onyembi, what we did was to do a dual thing. We did a school classroom block with the water, so that students around there would have the benefit of, having water among them.
Okay.
So I will leave it with you, like I said, and you can go on and even the area command in Aba, the area command of the police. If you go there today, the water they use is water that was done by us. Let me find. I'm still looking for the power
education
project. Well, we will get that. But in terms of education, I can offhand tell you that we did at Ahaba High School here. We did in Ihe. In fact,
was it the
we
building of classroom
rehabilitated.
blocks?
Yes, both classroom blocks and equipment. That is schools, desks, and things. Then, of course, beyond this equipment, we did all manners of empowerment for our people. There are 65 wards in Abia South. Each of their chairmen got a keke tricycle. It was the biggest empowerment we have done. We gave each of the local government chairmen of the party, they also got vehicles. We shared vehicles, about 25, to various persons in Abia South. And of course, we are still doing more. But the one that makes me very happy was that we did an empowerment training in 2014 for 660 youths. We trained them, we brought them into the formal sector. How did we bring them into the formal sector? We were to give them, after their training, to start off their whatever they have learned, and they learned different skills. And we said most people at that level do not have a way that you can reach them, assuming you want to support them and assuming they want to go into the modern economy. They don't have bank accounts. We ensured that all of them were given their funding for starting their empowerment through bank accounts. So we made them enter the formal sector. So they can now be tracked. They have BVN numbers. They can pay tax through that. We can now know whether they're doing so well or if they need more support, and so on and so forth. It was done by us. And since then, we also did for all the women in the Abia South who were women leaders and so forth. We did a 3-day training for them. In fact, we have done trainings for them about 4 times since 2014. They were trained in both poultry, both other things, and some of them, we were pleasantly surprised when we came home this festive season, that all the chicken that we ate at home here were gifts brought by these people. If you look around my neighborhood now, you can see all these turkeys. These were gifts given to me by from the people that were empowered. And so we say, there's nothing we can say to come and say thank you. We bring you one turkey. They are the ones that you see going around here. So that is what happens with regard to our empowerment. Because what we felt was that rather than give people fish, that we teach them how to fish. The person now becomes empowered and goes around to also be a blessing to their families, mostly the women, because the women are the anchors of each family. And once the woman has enough, she can take care of their children, make sure that they have good nutrition, make sure they go to school, make sure that the family is not pressured only from one person being the breadwinner in the family. So we've done everything to assist and empower our people.
Okay, our esteemed viewer, we're going to be back in a little while. Don't touch the channel. Stay there. Seems that Abaribe is still here with us, and we'll be back in a jiffy.
Living TV, bringing the word first to you.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the program. It's still Talk Tough on Living TV, and of course we still have our distinguished senator Enyinnaya Abaribe with us. He's still telling us what he's done for the people of Abia South, and of course we're going to hear more on education. Senator, you can take it from here. Let's hear what you've done.
Yes, Bingwa, we did classrooms at Ohanze. We did books and instructional materials at War Ahia for primary school. That is for primary. In Aba North, we gave instructional materials, equipment, seats. You can see this. It's here. In Umola Primary School in Aba. In fact, we went beyond when we got to Umola to find that a couple of students had been injured because the school didn't have toilet facilities, and so the students will run across the road to go to somewhere else. And the headmistress told us, and we said, well, this is not part of our responsibility, but that we know that maybe in the building of the school some things may have been overlooked and all that, and we built for the school. I think it was when Mrs. Eson, Charles Eson's mother, was the head of the school there. We did at Obo Primary School.
What was that?
Materials,
okay,
books and equipment. I went to hand over those materials myself because we felt that you're in school and you don't have the basic learning material. Of course, they can tell you everything, but you may not be able to note it because you need to review what you do. I need to have something to write. We gave materials and some infrastructure to Constitution Primary School, Market Road Primary School, Township Primary School, which was a little bit emotional for me because I went to Township School in Aba. That was where I grew up, and I entered Township Primary School in 1960, and I'm sure some of you had not been born then. And so going back there, I wasn't so not so happy with the state of the school, but we gave them infrastructure materials, and then we tried to put it in the budget to do some type of physical renovation, but that had not taken place. Township Primary School and School Road Primary School, which is also on the same road. It used to be called Government School before. Now, we also in Ugunabo gave school furniture to Ihe Secondary School, and that also presented its own challenges. That school, during the time that there was the height of kidnapping, kidnappers used the school as a staging point where they were bringing people and keeping. And all the students went away and there was nobody there, even though it was a school. And so by the time the kidnappers had been routed, there was not one single furniture left in that school. And so we had to bring in schools, desks, chairs and all that to be able to resuscitate the school.
Is functional now.
It's very functional now. Ihe Secondary School. We did a classroom block at the migrant primary school. You know, there was a time that the federal government started the migrant migrant schools all over, and the one that they have at Amapo Moba resolutions. Somebody will write a motion. Somebody can bring up a motion, and A, B, C is not done well, this and that, and we make a resolution to say we ask government to do A, B, and C. A responsive government will respond to those by adjusting. A non-responsive government, which is what we see this APC government to be, will simply ignore what you say. Another way is that when they now bring the proposal, we can now look at the proposal and say, you're proposing to put money here.
Okay.
But we think that this is far more critical because maybe it's an ongoing project and it needs far more money to complete it rather than starting a new project. And we say, no, we're moving this money to this area. And when we do that and now send it back, which is part of our responsibility, the matter now comes up by the non-responsive government trying to insist on their own side by saying that we are tampering with their budget. You understand? And I'm sure that this also will help the viewers to understand the source of conflict. I am sent to represent Abia South. And let's say that there are roads in Abia South that are supposed to be done. And I can take just one example. The road connecting Aba to Ikorekbene, 24 miles. And every year we put monies there so that the road can be redone and it will be smooth for those who do trade and everything between here. And then somebody comes in 20 and said, no, we didn't put any money, even though we budgeted for it. We didn't implement it. But this year, we want to do another road. And we said, no, you can't do another road when you have not done this one that is far more critical. And then that is what leads to the problem. So when you see that there is a conflict, or you hear that there's a conflict between us and the executive authority, it is because we try to fight for our people to make life better for them.
Okay, sir, you've tried a lot in elaborating on all those things. Finally, I'd like to know what the Abia Southerners will be expecting when you are re-elected, or if you are elected on February 16. What are the expectations? What are you expecting to gain from Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe after the election?
Well, let me say that there is no if I'm re-elected. I will be re-elected. I know that because I go out, I go to campaign, I feel the pulse of our people. I feel the pulse of the general populace of the Igbo man to know that we will be sent back to represent them properly as we have been doing. What they should expect is that I will even do far more for them than I'm doing at the present. First of all, to do the most critical thing that I have tried to do for our people. And that is to give our people a sense of dignity, that we cannot be in this country and somebody will treat us unequally. That you will look at somebody who is killing people in the north, and then you come to kill our own people here because we have said we want to assert our rights. That is number one. Two, that you must see us as a component part of this country. That you cannot have 14 critical positions in this country and not a single person from the Igbo race there. We cannot allow that. So I will be there to talk for our people, which is the first thing that we should do. The Igbo race needs a strong voice. And I am that strong voice. And I want the Igbo people to vote me. And